Welcome back to the 6th day of the 12 stories of Easter. And what we're doing is we're taking an Easter egg and looking at the object inside of it and seeing how that applies to stories from the last week of Jesus' life. So let's open up today's egg and see what this object is. Today's object is a chicken. So let's see what a chicken has to do with the last week of Jesus' life.
While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she looked closely at him. "You were with a Nazarene, Jesus," she said, but he denied it. "I don't know or understand what you are talking about," he said, and went out into the entryway. When the servant girl saw him there, she said to those standing around, "This fellow is one of them." Again, he denied it. After a little while, those standing near said to Peter, "Surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean." He began to call down curses, and he swore to them, "I don't know this man you are talking about." Immediately, the rooster crowed the second time. Then Peter remembered the words Jesus had spoken to him, "Before the rooster crows twice, you will disown me 3 times." And he broke down and wept.
Thank you, Hadley, for reading Scripture. So did you hear the part in the story about the chicken? We'll get to that in a second. But first we have to share some of the story we didn't share with you earlier. So the last time we met yesterday when we uploaded video 5, what we talked about was Jesus being in a garden and him praying. At the end of that, Jesus said, "The Son of Man," speaking of himself, "I have just been betrayed, and I'm going to be given into the hands of sinners. Let's go, my accuser is here." And so they went, and they were met by one of their friends, Judas, and a group of soldiers who came to arrest Jesus. And Jesus was then taken into the religious leader's house of that day, and then he was questioned. They were trying to trap him in his words. They were trying to get rid of him because they didn't like what he was promoting in the people, what he was teaching the people about God's love, about God's generosity, and about all of these different things. And while Jesus was in the house of the religious leader, Peter, one of his closest friends, was outside the house, and he was amongst other peoples. Peter really wanted to know what was going on. And because he spoke with a different speech, like you can hear people from different parts of the world speaking differently than you hear us speak. Maybe it's from people's south of the Ohio River. I have relatives that live down in Kentucky and in Tennessee, and their speech and the words that they use are different from ours up here in northern Indiana. So his speech, his dialect gave him away, and people knew that he was a friend of Jesus. But Peter denied it time after time again, 3 times in fact. And after the 3rd time, the chicken, the rooster, crowed for the 2nd time. And it caused Peter to cry because he remembered what Jesus had said. "Before the rooster crows twice, you're going to deny knowing me 3 times. And so this night was not easy on Jesus. It was not easy on Peter. It wasn't easy on any of those who were closest to Jesus. But if you stick with the story, God is going to do something amazing out of the hurt, out of the pain that this story is showing us, that this story has taught us. And so if you stick with us through the rest of this time, you're going to see how God can take something that's really, really sad and make something really beautiful out of it. Join us next time to continue the story and see how God does miraculous, wonderful things through pain. See you then.